Today I'm with Alex Brittingham.
Woohoo!
Woo, I know, right? This is so awesome.
I've spent the last year and a half learning from the top earners in the industry, and now I'm putting my business plan into action. The question is, how will I do it without being a tech genius or having supermodel good looks? Join me and follow along as I learn, put into action, and share my journey. I am Sarah Peterson, and you're listening to MLM Marketing Explosion.
I love Alex. This guy is amazing. He is your go-to for anything with sales, chatbots, funnels, Facebook ads. He's kind of got that whole marketing thing going on. And what's even more fun is that he didn't use it just for him. He's now going out and teaching other people how to use it. So I'd love to know a little bit about your story. How did you get started? How did you get there? What led you down that line? Because that's still a relatively new-ish field.
Right, yeah. So sorry about my notifications going off. I don't know if you heard it just then. I turned them off, but
Oh, it's all good.
so basically, like, from where I got started. So I originally got started. Excuse me. I originally got started on Twitter. So I was actually creating like parody accounts that post like funny content and things like that. And what I was doing from there was I had one account that I created, and it was based off a song by Drake, like at the time, and it just like blew up because the song was like popular. Basically, what I did was I grew that account like super big because it was super related, to the song, obviously, and then it kept growing and growing and growing. And then from there, I cross promoted that first account with new ones, and then I basically just grew my network like super big, and it was kind of like a snowball effect. And then from there, I started promoting e-commerce companies and, giving them shout outs and retweets and posting cost per click ads and stuff like that on my accounts. And then from there, after I realized like, oh my God, I'm getting these people like a lot of results. Why don't I come up with an e-commerce brand? So from there, I actually created an accessory brand, like way, like a little bit like that was like a long time ago, but I created the accessory brand like afterwards. And then what happened was I started doing the accessory brand. It was going really well. And then I started taking like some courses on local lead gen and stuff like that. And I started like being really active on Facebook and stuff like that. And then I noticed the e-commerce brand started to die down because my focus wasn't on it anymore. And I was kind of more on like the long-term play, like doing local lead gen and whatnot. So as I noticed the brand was starting to kind of decline, and my interest and my focus was more towards like funnels and chatbots and all that fun stuff for local like companies, excuse me, I decided to actually sell off the company, and then I completely focused just on local lead gen and all that fun stuff. So after I got started with local lead gen, I started getting results and everything. I decided to create a Facebook group, and now I'm like coaching and consulting other entrepreneurs and kind of showing them how to do the same thing. So it's been quite some journey, to be honest, going from like Twitter to this. It's like a complete 180, but going from e-commerce to like local lead gen. So wouldn't have it any other way though. I've been loving it.
That's super, super crazy cool. I did not know that.
Yeah. So yeah, that was, I actually grew my network to like 2.7 million followers. So it was huge. And then I actually, like, once I got into the local lead gen stuff, I kind of started selling my accounts like one by one. And I'm kind of glad I did, because Twitter did like this huge like purge of all these accounts, and a lot of them got shut down. So I got super lucky. But yeah, so that's what brings me here today.
I actually think that's really cool too, because I think it's really easy to get married to what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's like, you get kind of attached. And so that's really cool that you were able to grow it up to that part and kind of realize that maybe there was another path. And even before you knew that any of that was going to go down the pipeline, I just think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Like,
I was going to say, it was crazy, honestly. Like, I started like, I don't know. It was so crazy because I had so many followers, and I was like kind of promoting like myself, like on my Instagram and stuff like that too. So I was kind of growing like my personal brand before I got into personal branding, but like before I even like knew what that was. I just wanted more followers online because I was like 17 years old and I thought it was awesome. So, but yeah, so it's been pretty fun.
I guess that also goes to show you, without even you telling, that since you branded you and not your e-commerce and everything else, when you transitioned, was that a hard transition, or did you just kind of keep going?
I just kind of kept going. So I mean, I kind of winged it, to be honest. Like I got out of the e-commerce space, and then I was just doing local lead gen, and I didn't even think in my head like, okay, I could do like personal branding as well. That was kind of more like down the line after I started getting more results with local lead gen and everything. And then I saw Facebook groups were becoming popular. And I was like, hey, why don't I do that to try to network with some people and whatnot? And then from there, it like blew up, and we're at like 3,000 members now. So it's been kind of crazy. So it's been pretty hectic. But yeah, it's been awesome. I didn't even have the intention on like actually getting into personal branding, I guess, in a sense. But I guess it all just came together and kind of worked out. So
Right? Like that's the back end. It just kind of
Mhm.
happens. That's
Right.
so cool though. That I think that's awesome. So I'm just curious. This is just me, but did you start out actively trying to get clients that would use you, or did they come to you and find you because of how awesome you are?
So not at all. It wasn't because I was awesome at all whatsoever. So when I first, well, thank you though. When I first got started, it was honestly really tough. Um, so when I first started, I was offering a bunch of different services because I took like courses and stuff online, and people teaching like SEO, Google AdWords, content creation, and everything. So I thought in my head, I was like, okay, well, the more services I offer, the more money I can make and the more people I can help. So I was like, okay, I'll just go about it that way. And that was a huge mistake, like the biggest mistake I've ever made with agency work. So I found like I was doing so many different things. I was doing websites, I was doing content creation. Like with content creation, I didn't have that much money at the time. So I was literally having friends of mine who went to a local college rent out camera equipment for me from the college to like shoot content for like this client I had at the time. Um, so I built like, and I only ended up having one client while I was doing all this, and it was a free trial, which obviously sucked. But so I was doing content creation, Google AdWords, Facebook ads. I built him a website. Um, what else? Yeah, like I said, SEO, or I said content, graphics, like everything under the sun that you could possibly imagine, I was offering to this guy, and I was so busy doing all these different things that I actually wasn't able to prospect. So I ended up getting stuck with this one client, and it was a free trial, and it was for 3 whole months, like 3 months. Yeah. So that's like my huge, like awful story that I always tell everyone. I'm like, look, don't offer every service. Don't do really long free trials because it's not going to work out. But basically like I was so desperate for a client that I kind of just let it go on and go on and go on. And I didn't realize that as far as services, I was kind of spreading myself thin because I was trying to do everything and not really specialize in one thing. So my entire service as a whole wasn't that great. And I didn't really see that until he kind of let me know after the 3 months. He was like, look, man, like this isn't really working out. I don't think I'm going to be able to pay you, what I told you I'd be able to pay you at the end. So yeah, 3 months of busting my butt for nothing, but it's totally fine because I use that story as like um, a huge like no for everyone that I talk to as far as like um, running an agency for local businesses and stuff like that. Like don't offer everything under the sun. Just focus on one thing because the master of all trades, or I'm sorry, the jack of all trades is a master at nothing. So, but yeah.
That's crazy, but you didn't give up.
Mm.
So
No way. Yeah.
now I got to know. So you have that big, devastating, are you kidding? It ran your life. Where'd you go from there?
Yeah. So from there, I kind of just took a step back and started doing a lot of research. So I wasn't actually, first of all, I dropped the client, and literally that client was like a full-time job for 3 months. So it was like, okay, I was working part-time and I was also doing that. I was actually serving tables at an Applebee's. So, so I was doing that. And I was also doing this crazy long free trial for free. I said free trial. I don't know why I said for free. But yeah, so from there, I kind of took a step back. I stopped prospecting. I was just working part-time, and I just took a step back, started taking a little bit more courses and stuff like that just for local lead gen. And then I stumbled across a couple Facebook groups and a couple courses and everything that just focused on building funnels and chatbots. And I got more involved in like the ClickFunnels group and stuff like that. So from there, I kind of kept my head down, and I was just kind of lurking around and seeing what everybody was saying, and everybody was doing funnels and stuff like that. And yeah, from there, I just took like a bunch of courses, just started doing a lot of trial and error. I did some free trials with that, but they were only a week long. So not 3 months any longer. or anymore. But yeah, from there, I just kind of learned a lot about funnels. I read a bunch of books, a bunch of sales books, bunch of funnel books like .com Secrets, Expert Secrets, The Conversion Code by Chris Smith, a bunch of different books like that. And it really helped me out. And it kind of opened my eyes to, this is what I should be doing for local businesses, and not everything to where I can't even sleep and I'm working constantly. So yeah, once I had like an understanding on how lead generation worked and how, you know, if I have a system in place that's literally like a copy and paste system for every client, then I'll be a lot more free as far as like time and stress and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm definitely glad I took some time off and kind of did a lot of studying. So
That's really cool. So this might be insider secret, so you don't have to say this one if you don't
okay,
want.
no worries.
But I'm just curious from a standpoint of when you jump in and you're trying to figure out where you should grow. And I know that you built that whole Twitter account, and you know, you just knew what you were doing and you knew how to do it. And
Mhm.
as somebody coming in as new going, I'm not even sure what I want to offer yet. I'm not even sure how this is going to work. You know, I've never, you know, one of my favorite quotes is Bob Proctor, where he talks about, I didn't know how I was going to do it until I did it, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But for somebody that's jumping in, and I know that every single part of that is totally important in terms of growing your brand or growing your following and all that kind of stuff. But if you were going to tell somebody to just focus on, or if there even is one, there might not even be one. But
Mhm.
if you were going to tell somebody, man, if I was starting out, this is where I'd focus right now to grow a following, where would you tell them to go? Or how would you tell, you know what I mean?
So as far as like a personal brand
Yeah,
or
well, like in terms of, would you say, okay, make sure you know how to do chat box, or make sure, you know what I'm asking, kind of?
right, yeah, yeah, for sure. So like to get started, I would honestly recommend after like a part of like some of the courses I took. So I took a couple like Facebook ads courses on Udemy, super cheap. They're like 15 bucks. So I took a couple of those. Some for some info from some influencers on Facebook and some other courses on Udemy. I took like every course that you could possibly imagine on like ClickFunnels and chatbots and stuff like that. But as far as like growing a personal brand, what I would do first is just kind of network around in different groups and provide value and teach people different things if anyone has any questions on anything, and just like be a genuine person who's trying to help. And that's kind of what I do with like my agency as well, and that's kind of what helps me get clients, but that's for like another topic, I guess. But so yeah, like as far as like growing like a personal brand, like first obviously you need to know what you're doing, so make sure you take like you know, really high rated courses with like a bunch of testimonials and stuff like that. And then from there, I guess I would say, like I said, just kind of network in different groups, from request different people in the space. And if anyone has any help or needs any help, just help them out. And then also it definitely helps out on whatever platform you're being like active on, like, and you're actually providing value and teaching and whatnot, like in different groups that you actually post on your news feed. So people can see it, people who are friends with you. So, they can, you know, you can kind of gain your own credibility that way, and people see you as an authority, and then they might ask some more questions. And then, you know, you never know somebody who knows a business owner and vice versa if you come out with like any courses or anything to teach other people. So, yeah, so that's kind of how I would go about it. So make sure, excuse me, make sure you first take some Udemy courses on like Facebook ads, and, you know, you look around for, you know, different influencers who have big courses on agency work and like funnels and chatbots and stuff like that. Because that's kind of how I went about it, and it seemed to have worked out pretty well. So that's what I would recommend.
That's totally cool. And you didn't even plug yourself. Totally plug yourself. Can
Yeah,
you guys be in your group? Is that cool? Because you're kind of
that's
the master.
yeah, that's totally cool. Yeah, it's called God, what is it even called? It's called Facebook ads, funnels, chatbots, sales, or something like that. It's a bunch of different keywords for the whole Facebook SEO thing. Um, if that's what you want to call it. And then it's called Agency Growth Hacks at the very end. So
Okay.
yeah, feel
And
free to
that's,
join. As of right now, there's like 3,000 members, so probably is going to change by the time people are hearing this. But yeah, so feel free to join. I'd be more than happy to connect with you.
that's awesome. And this is Alex Brittingham. Yeah, definitely be in his group. And do you have a recommendation? Because I know when I started out, it was like, we'll only do Facebook because Facebook is the place. And I love social media because well, I do love social media, but I love marketing and like the skills, like all the skills that you learn, all the skills you're talking about, because they kind of translate. I mean, if Facebook, heaven forbid, disappeared, you just take
Right.
those skills and you move them somewhere else. But as of today, which is December 2018, do you have a favorite platform right now that you love, or do you know?
I'd say for sure Facebook. Like before, when I was all into Twitter with all my accounts and everything, I didn't even touch Facebook. So when I kind of made that transition to local lead gen, I actually had to like learn about Facebook, like the whole platform, because I was just like such a noob with it. But yeah, I would say by far Facebook's my favorite platform because my group's in there. I do all my marketing on Facebook for my clients. And soon for myself for like my course and everything. So like everything is Facebook now, and I hardly even touch Twitter, as like funny as that is. So sold all my accounts on Twitter, so now I'm just Facebook, and yeah, Facebook's by far my go-to platform.
I think the hardest thing is there's great courses out there, but you don't always know where they are. So even when you're throwing out $15 on Udemy, and they do have cool stuff, but you're not always sure which one should I get. Or
I was gonna say to like kind of touch on like the whole courses thing, like so the Udemy courses helped a lot, but the biggest thing that I noticed was a lot of the courses from Udemy and like different influencers that I took courses from, they taught you how to do things, but not actually how to implement what they're teaching, if that makes sense. So like,
it
wasn't really like a system to stick to. Like, okay, well now I know how to build funnels. So, okay, what kind of funnel should I actually build for this specific type of client, or what kind of automation should I do? What kind of, follow-up sequence, like all these different things. Like I found a lot of these courses don't really teach that. And that's kind of what I'm doing like with my course, and it is actually done right now. I'm actually about to release it either like tomorrow or Friday. I'm waiting on my funnel to be finished, but excuse me. But yeah, so super excited about it because it's going to be more so like strategies. Like, okay, it's all technical walkthroughs. Like I teach how to do chatbots, funnels, automation, Facebook ads, client acquisition. Like that's all like 5 different modules on technical walkthroughs on how to do it. And then I have a 10-step system that you stick to where it's like, okay, you need to simplify your services, just offer these services, right? Next, here's client acquisition. Here's what you should do every day for client acquisition. And then, okay, now that you've onboarded a client, here's what you should do. Here's what you should do during your setup phase, like as far as like setting up your funnel for them, the automation, what else? Like the Facebook ad, like literally everything. And it's all basically like copy and paste. Like it's all template based. So you literally just take it from the course, paste it into your account, or whatever the case is. So I think it's going to give me a lot of leverage over a lot of other courses because a lot of people aren't doing it that way, and it's more so just like saying, okay, here's how you do chatbots, here's how you do funnels, and then that's kind of it. So and another cool thing, I'm going to be teaching how to actually scale your agency in there and working offers that are already like proven to work. So like the exact funnel, the exact Facebook ad copy, like the exact automation, like everything. So I'm really excited for it. I've got like 30 people in there right now. Like I said, I haven't released it to the public, so that's just from like my beta launch in a sense. So I just asked people in my group, like, hey, if anyone would like to be a part of the beta launch, like shoot me a message. So yeah, it's been great so far though. I can't wait to actually launch it to the public. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
If you guys were paying attention, he totally dropped some truth nukes, as Stephen Larson likes to say. Some of his truth nukes, you notice that, and I've actually noticed this too. A lot of people will tell you what they did, but they won't take you that next step.
Yeah.
So you take that course and you're like, crap, I know how to do it, but I don't know how to do it.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that's awesome because that's automatically going to set you apart. And as people are coming up with what they want to offer, when you're finding these holes or things that, you're going, man, I wish that was in there. And you start to implement and you figure out how to do it, which unfortunately, sometimes you have to figure out how to implement it. But as soon as you can do that, that's a great idea, just like Alex did, where that's where the hole is. I'll just go create the stuff to fill in that hole.
Exactly.
Yep. I think that's awesome.
That's a huge problem I had, at least. So I know there's got to be a bunch of other people. And another thing too, like I joined a bunch of different courses and stuff like that. And there wasn't really any support from like the creator of the course, like whether it's like Udemy or like influencers on Facebook, whatever the case is, or like bigger, like huge influencers all over the world and stuff like that. So like I noticed there wasn't really much support. So I decided, okay, well, what I'm going to do is with people who buy my course, I'm just going to have a mini like Facebook group, like an inner circle group. And then every Monday we're doing group coaching calls. So if anyone has any questions or needs help, like it's literally me, like I'm literally going to be like this, helping out. So like, that's another thing that kind of lacked in a lot of the courses that I took too. Um, and I may have to maybe slow that down if the course grows like crazy big, but as of right now, I mean, that's how it's going. And it seems to be pretty helpful too, being able to do like the group coaching calls and answer questions live and help people out like with actual demonstrations and stuff like that.
So for reals, if you guys are listening to this, go jump on his Facebook group. Go, I was going to say stalk, don't stalk him.
That's fine.
But go check out what Alex is doing, because I know this is, like you said, one that it's like you could probably figure it out. Well, heck, you figured it out, but it takes forever by trying to, deep dive into different free things or different this or different whatever. And I mean, I don't know. I'm one of those people, if I can shortcut it.
Oh my God, yeah. For sure, yeah. Like my first 6 months of my agency journey, it was 3 months of me trying to make my website amazing, trying to make my proposal look super amazing, like as far as like graphics and stuff like that. I was doing a bunch of cold calls and cold emails. It was all terrible because A, I had no idea what I was doing as far as like what to say, and B, I was doing every service under the sun and not like the one in-demand service. So it was a lot harder for me to convert those cold calls and cold emails and stuff into actual clients. And then from there, that was like 2 or 3 months. And then I did that 3-month-long free trial. So my first 6 months was literally nothing. So I think I would say before I started actually doing lead gen, it took me probably like at least a year to get everything like figured out, probably like a year and a half before I actually started prospecting for the right system, I guess, to say. I hate saying the word system because I feel like everyone says that, but that's kind of, I mean, that's the truth though. Before I actually had like a system to stick to for all my clients and everything, and it made sense when I was prospecting and stuff like that. So I will say another thing, like if people are prospecting, I found that like cold emails, cold calls, and cold DMs and stuff like that don't work that great unless you have a lot of results. So a way to kind of bypass that is I started doing what I like to call value videos. And basically what that means is I will kind of scope out different companies who are already marketing. That's another thing too. When it comes to selling like a lead gen service, you want to most likely, or, more likely than not, if you prospect companies who are already spending money on marketing, like with billboards, radio ads, awful Facebook ads that may come up on your newsfeed, newspapers, Yelp, whatever the case is, if they're already spending money on marketing, they're going to be a lot more likely to sign with you. And like SEO and stuff like that, because A, they don't know their return, and B, they're already spending money on marketing and they understand the investment. So it's a lot easier to sell your service. So as far as like prospecting, I started kind of vetting the people that I prospect first by doing that. And then what I started doing was shooting Loom videos of me kind of like critiquing like what they're saying, like, hey, I saw you were doing this. I had some ideas, not really critiquing them. It was kind of more just providing value. And that kind of goes back to what I said earlier about just providing value on Facebook and stuff like that. But I found that like just providing value and shooting a video, showing your face, showing that you're a real person, and like kind of helping them and just like providing value and then sending the video off to them in Messenger has helped me like immensely. And that's like a huge pivotal point for my agency. Cause again, I didn't have too much success with cold calls and cold emails. And honestly, like I was terrible at cold calls. I always I always freaked out. I never knew what to say. So once I started doing like these value videos and just like kind of, providing value and saying, hey, I know you were, doing this, but, you may not know your return on this. And I know it might be a little bit frustrating. So, if you're looking to do something new, like feel free to check this out. And I would, if it was me, I would kind of run it this way. And then with that, I kind of showed them an inside look on like my whole lead gen system. And I build them like a really quick, like mock landing page, like as if I was running an ad for them. And then I kind of walk them through it and I kind of explain what should happen once people fill out the form, like on the landing page. And then I send it off and say, hey, I hope this helped. And then from there, I've gotten so many responses and like so many people in my course are like killing it with getting meetings and stuff like that just from doing that. It's crazy how when you provide value and don't just try to sell, that you actually sell. So yeah, that was like, I kind of went off on a rant there, but that was like a huge pivotal point for my agency. So for anyone listening or watching or whatever the case is, feel free to run with that and give it a shot, because it worked really well for me.
Sometimes it's so scary to give that free stuff because it's like, I can't give you free stuff.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, if you're going to spend hours and hours and hours cold calling, and you got to think like, I mean, there's like some scripts that'll work if you're cold emailing and stuff like that. But like, especially if you're just starting out, do the value videos, because you're going to provide value up front. They're not going to question your authority because you're teaching them something up front for free. And you don't have to do like crazy long videos. Like my videos are probably like 4 or 5 minutes. And I usually try to pump out at least like 5 a day. So super simple. It takes me like an hour tops. And that's usually what my prospecting is for the day. And you'll get a lot of opens, a lot of people saying, "Oh my God, this is really helpful. Do you do this?" And I'm like, "Ooh, in fact, I do." So, yeah, it takes a little bit of effort, but you got to think, if you're spending hours cold calling, hours cold emailing, you might as well do this, because, you're not going to get as many conversations or as many like messages sent, I guess, but you're going to get a lot more responses and a lot more meetings out of it.
I think it's awesome that you have a group too, because I know I hear a lot of entrepreneurs say it's so lonely. It's so lonely. And I've never felt like that, because I have a best friend that's doing this with me too.
Yeah.
So,
oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Isn't that cool? So when I get stuck, I call and I say, "Oh, I'm totally stuck." Or when something great happens, it's like, "Yeah, something totally great happened." But the other day I couldn't get a hold of her, and I totally felt that it was like, who do I go tell? I got to go tell. This was so awesome.
Right.
So I think it's so cool that you have that group and you have that support, because even when you have the best laid plans, sometimes when you go to implement it, it's like either you want to go tell somebody, it totally worked, or
right.
Because I'll try to tell my family, but sometimes they just look at me like, "Okay, great, it worked." They don't understand. But and flip side, sometimes you get so stuck, and it's such an easy fix. But sometimes you're either so into it that you don't see the fix, or you just don't even know what that easy fix is. So I think it's really cool that you've got that group. I think it's really cool that there's a place for people, that people can go that are trying to learn how to do this in their business. And, I heard this from Russell Brunson a while ago. It's not the how, it's the who. This has been awesome. Anything else you want to say?
No, that's pretty much it for me. I mean, I do want to touch on what you said as far as like having a support system. So kind of like what you said, like having a best friend, it does help being able to like talk to somebody and like share your wins with them and stuff like that. So I would recommend to get somebody who's in the same space as you and just kind of be like an accountability buddy. You know what I mean? Because I know like as an entrepreneur, it's hard to do everything on your own, and it's hard to, especially when you're doing it full time. Like sometimes it might be a little bit not hard motivation wise, but it's like, okay, I work from home, I can do what I want, but I shouldn't do what I want. You know what I mean? Like I need to work. So it's nice to have an accountability buddy that kind of, you chat with every day and stuff like that, and share wins with, and kind of like get on each other, like about like what you're doing in a sense. So I've got a buddy of mine that I kind of do the same exact thing with, and we talk like every day, and work on different projects and stuff like that together. So yeah, it's super beneficial if you have somebody to actually talk with and share wins with, and kind of have another set of eyes on things if you ever need another set of eyes on something and have any questions. So yeah, I would definitely recommend having somebody as far as like a friend to kind of chat with every day as far as like, what you're working on. And it's definitely helped out with the group too, having like so many people support me and network with me and whatnot, because it's not just me helping people in the group. It's a bunch of, it's a bunch of other agency owners who are helping each other. So it kind of makes it like a huge community of just people helping each other. And it's super awesome. It's a lot of work to keep up with so many messages and stuff like that, but I honestly love it. Like it's keeping me sharp between the ears. And it's awesome because I'm also getting value from other people who have done stuff that I haven't done as well. So it's like, it's a win-win for everybody. So
throw it again. What your Facebook group is.
It's called Facebook ads, funnels, Facebook ads, chatbots, funnels, and sales, and then it's got like a semicolon agency growth hack. So
Okay.
it's got a big old picture of me as like the banner as of right now. So yeah, but yeah, it's a super awesome group. Yeah.
And if you go find Alex Brittingham,
Yes.
spell that too, huh?
Yeah.
The link's right there on your Facebook page, right?
Yes. So the link is in my bio actually, and I should have like a cover photo. I think I have one still, but yeah, there should be something for there or for that too.
So that is super crazy awesome. And can we do a follow-up in a couple weeks or months?
Yeah.
Let's know how it's going.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm down. I love doing these types of things. So I usually, in my group, I always go live by myself. So it's nice to actually be interviewed on the other end and kind of, actually talk to somebody as opposed to me just like teaching something on live and not having anyone face to face and, to actually converse with. Because it's always a bunch of comments, but it's not like the same as this. So yeah, I'm for sure down.
It's totally different, huh? Okay. Yeah. One more time, Alex Brittingham, and it's
Brittingham. Yep.
Perfect. Are you tired of bugging your family and friends and bumping into the same people all over social media trying to pitch your opportunity? If so, grab your team members and go to www.marketingexplosion.org and pick up your free copy of MLM Momentum. It's going to teach you how to get people coming to you and applying for your opportunity. It's also going to teach you how to get paid for prospecting. See you soon.